So as you all know, I love saving money and I love smelling amazing. And so for both of those things, the brand Zara comes to mind. I've been checking out a lot of Zara fragrances lately, and I've done a few hauls in the past. So if you want to go check those videos out, you can go check them out here. I'll make a playlist for those and you can check out the Zara specific fragrances. But there are so many of them out there that smell okay, and there are some of them that smell really amazing. And so today we're covering 7 of these fragrances that I just think smell amazing. They're great buys for the money, and most of all, I think you're gonna like them. So thank you for joining me. Sit back, make yourself comfortable, and let's start the video. One reason I absolutely love Zara fragrances are that you can find a lot of them for under the $40 mark, and I try to recommend a lot of my affordable fragrances for around that price point, under $50. So the first fragrance we're going to be looking at is Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. Now, this DNA is definitely going to be very similar to a Louis Vuitton fragrance. It's going to be similar to Imagination. This is going to be a very citrus, creamy fragrance with a lot of ginger, bergamot, and some also green notes in here. And I feel like I also get some vetiver that really makes it kind of woody. It's creamy, but at the same time it smells very mature. It's a great office friendly fragrance, but it kind of just reminds me of springtime because you have some of that mandarin orange, you have some of those fresh citruses mixed with some of that orange blossom that just really reminds me of those blossoming orange bushes and those orange groves. Bushes? Orange bushes? Everybody loves picking oranges from the bushes. But this is a really nice, mature, office-friendly fragrance that I think is going to be perfect for the spring. And if you want something that's creamy, it's fruity, and it's going to be a little bit more unisex while leaning a little bit more gentleman-like, I think you're going to really like this one. And that one is Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. So while that last one was, I believe, around $35 or so, this next one is extremely affordable. This one is Zara's Black Tag, and this is not the Intense, this is just the regular Black Tag. So I actually got this one and Black Tag Intense in a double set. I think I got both of them for $20 or $25. So for $10 or so that this works out to, this is going to be the better buy over the Black Tag Intense. I really prefer the way that this one smells, and I have picked up this bottle so many times just as a blind grab, and it just smells extremely creamy, musky, and oh, this stuff is magic. This has some really nice peppery woods. You have a nice creamy white floral vibe in here. It also has some musk, pepper, and some grapefruit and bergamot. So it's gonna smell a little bit grapefruit, a little bit citrusy, but it's not going to be super synthetic and super citrus heavy that it's gonna be all that you notice. This is going to be a more creamy, musky floral fragrance. So it reminds me a little bit of Initio's Musk Therapy. It's not going to be a one-on-one, but it definitely gets me in that same ballpark. It's definitely very relaxing. So you can put this on fresh out of the shower and it's going to last you a good amount of time. I want to say it was about a 6 or 7 hour fragrance. So this is probably one of the most easy to wear out of all of these fragrances, and that one is Zara's Black Tag. This next fragrance is called Virtuous Oud by Alberto Morillas. So Alberto Morillas did create this along with Zara, and Alberto has done so many amazing fragrances in his time. He's done a lot of the Acqua di Gio fragrances, and basically every well-known fragrance that's been out in the designer world has been created by this guy. And so to have an Alberto Morillas creation at Zara for under that $40 mark, I think this one is definitely well worth it. This one reminds me a lot of Acqua di Gio Parfum and a little bit of Acqua di Gio Profumo. So it's going to be a little bit of a blend between those. They're kind of similar, but leaning a little bit more towards the Parfum. So that's going to be the black and white kind of gradient looking bottle. This one has a very woody vetiver, and it also has a little bit of agarwood in the base. So it's definitely a musky fragrance, and there is quite a bit of lavender in here. So it's going to be a little bit green. It's got a little bit of a smoky touch, and it just smells like a really nice high quality driftwood, and it doesn't smell all that synthetic. You have some lemon, you have some bergamot, and you also have some florals in there too. So it definitely smells mature. It smells like a smoky incense, and you also have some patchouli and sandalwood to balance out some of those aquatic kind of marine-like notes. But it definitely smells very mature, very office friendly. But ultimately, if you want something that's very fresh, it's a little bit blue, so it's going to smell a little bit soapy, but you want some of those peppery, woody oud notes in there, check out this one. And that one is Virtuous Oud by Alberto Morillas and Zara. Now, if you love fruity fragrances that definitely jump off your skin, they shout, I am here, I have arrived at the pool party. This is Zara's Bogoss Vibrant Leather. So this is going to be a very, very citrus and pineapple heavy fragrance. So when you first spray it, the pineapple definitely leaps off of your skin and you definitely get a nice citrusy lemon off the top. And it definitely smells refreshing. It's very energetic, so it's effervescent. It almost smells like a sparkling citrus drink, like a sparkling citrus soda. So imagine a lemon pineapple La Croix. If you have that, it kind of reminds me of that in the opening. And as this starts to dry down, you definitely get a little bit more of a creamy woods in the base. So it's got some leather. I feel like it also has some green notes in here, but ultimately it smells refreshing. It's going to be blue. It's going to be very citrusy. And this definitely captures that very youthful, energetic, just endless energy that comes with a summer vacation. So I don't know, that's kind of what I picture when I see this. So if you're in your late teens or if you're in your 20s and you have tons of energy and you just want to be sporty, you know, you can wear this as a gym fragrance. And if you just want something that's very easygoing, very bright, just like you, check this one out. And that one is Zara's Bogoss Vibrant Leather. So speaking of very fruity fragrances, this next one is going to be a very fruity, musky fragrance that's definitely unisex. This next one is Zara's Tender Amber. So this is going to be very similar to Xerjoff's Erba Pura and also Tiziana Terenzi's Kirke. Now I do have Kirke, I don't own Erba Pura. I've smelled many fragrances that smell like it, and frankly, I actually like how this one is blended much better than the original Erba Pura. So I actually just did a video on this Shagaf Oud Ahmar, and I think that these two fragrances are very similar to that Erba Pura DNA, and I think these actually do it better, in my opinion. This one's definitely got a fresh peach. It's also got some melon in there, so it definitely has that nice, fresh summer aquatic fruit, but I feel like this also has a bit of salty sea air, and you definitely have some of that ambroxan and some of that amber and musk in the base. So when I smell this, I definitely think of a tropical vacation. So if you want something that's very salty, it's fruity, and it just reminds you of a nice tropical Caribbean cruise, I immediately think of this one. This one also projects quite heavily off of the skin, and it just has some really nice creamy white florals in here that definitely make it project, and it lasts a hell of a long time. And I think this one definitely lasts around the 9 to 10 hour mark, and I've sprayed this on myself before work, and I still smell it well into the evening. So this stuff really is some magical juice. And that one is Zara's Tender Amber. Now, if you're looking for a fragrance that's very similar to By Kilian's Angel Share, Zara's definitely got you covered. This fragrance is Sand Desert at Sunset, and it's created by Benoit Laposa. So this person actually created the original By Kilian Angel Share. In terms of quality, this is definitely one of the higher quality Zara fragrances. This has a nice chocolatey, boozy quality. It also has some tonka, some cinnamon. It just smells very spicy. It's warm, and you have a nice radiant quality from the orange in here as well. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Zara fragrances by far. So you have a very candied, honey-like sweetness mixed with some of that nice incense, and you also have just that very classic By Kilian Angel Share DNA. So it smells a little bit like a spicy, boozy apple pie, but I feel like instead of the apple, they shift it more towards an orange or like a mandarin. So it's very similar, but maybe with an addition of that mandarin or that orange in here. Yeah, but this stuff is very, very sexy. And do not underestimate this one, because this is one of the best ones that you can pick up. The cinnamon, the tonka, it just smells incredible here. And you also have a touch of iris. So it also reminds me a little bit of Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Mer Le Parfum. So it's definitely similar to that tonka, cinnamon, and slightly irisy kind of DNA in this one, but it definitely smells more close to the Angel Share by Kilian. So if you like both of these fragrances, you are gonna love this fragrance. I guarantee it. This is one of the best date night fragrances that I can recommend for under $50, and that one is Sand Desert at Sunset. Our last fragrance is one of my favorite fragrances on this list, and this one is Spell Caramel. This fragrance is definitely, like the name suggests, you have some nice caramel in here, but you also have some blood orange, ginger, and licorice. So the way that these notes are blended, it definitely reminds me of Parfums de Marly's Wajan, and it also reminds me of Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. So that is a wonderful spring fragrance. It's a very nice evening fragrance, and it smells very mature, and I think it can lean a little bit feminine. But I absolutely love this one because you have a little bit of a spice, you have some sweetness from the licorice, and you also have some energy from the cardamom and the ginger. I absolutely love the osmanthus note here because it smells a little bit peachy, it smells a little bit floral and honey-like, and I think it definitely captures that nice, warm, radiant sweetness from the original Parfums de Marly Wajan. This one's perfect for the cooler nights, whether it's spring, fall, or even the summer, but if you want something with some syrupy, candied sweetness from the caramel and the osmanthus, I think you're gonna really like this one, and the ginger and the blood orange definitely give it some energy. I love how it smells a little bit smoky, a little bit incensey, and I just love the way that the notes are all blended together, especially with some of that cardamom that gives it a little bit of that warm, romantic kind of quality. But if you want something that's very sweet, a little bit smoky, and definitely floral, check out this one, and that one is Zara's Spell Caramel. So that does it. These are my 7 recommendations for the Zara fragrance line. Have you checked out any of these fragrances, or do you have any that are your favorites that are different from these? Let me know in the comments, and I'd love to discuss them with you. That does it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been Eli with Common Sense. Until the next time, bye-bye. Little fun fact, if you've stuck around this far, layering Spell Caramel and Sand Desert and Sunset is a game changer. Total game changer.